Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. Sephora sale is coming up. It starts on the 1st of April for Rouge VIB and it continues, I think, for almost 2 weeks. But let's talk about it. So my goal is not to overspend. And I know I'm saying that while there's a special savings event at one of the most expensive beauty retailers. I know. So what I've done is I've cleared out my loves list and I've only kept the things that, one, are in stock. Well, there might be one or two things in here that aren't in stock that I'm hoping will come back in time for the sale, or that either have caught my interest for a long time or are new and I'm really curious about. So I'm hoping that if any of these resonate with you, you'll let me know in the comments down below. Yes, I would be interested in seeing a review of that, or oh, I would love to know your thoughts on, let me know down below. The other thing is, if you've tried these and you're like, no, don't spend your money. Also, help your friend out, okay? I have realized in the last year that powder is sitting differently on my skin, and powders I used to be able to rely on 100% all the time to make my skin look as nice as possible without looking heavy or emphasizing the wrinkles that I have, because your girl's 47, aren't working the way they used to. They're starting to be really visible, or emphasizing that crepiness, and maybe my skin's getting drier. I don't know. Things are changing and powder is not sitting on here the way that it used to. So I'm looking for a new powder. I have a ton of really great powders. I love the Kosas powder. I like the Dior Backstage powder. I like the Hourglass Ambient Lighting powder. I like the Charlotte Tilbury. I have a lot of high-end powders that work really well for me, but there are a couple here that I'm like, One of them is from Saie. This is a new product. This is their Airset Radiant Loose Setting Powder. The first thing that caught my attention is the model that they use for the light translucent. I think is older than me. And I love that, of course, it's an inclusive campaign, but more than anything, that it basically is saying, guess who this powder looks good on? And I was like, oh, really? So it's supposed to be weightless. It's supposed to have a unique air cream technology that sets and smooths and diffuses for a radiant look. So it's supposed to have little bits of mica in there, ethically sourced mica, to bring a little radiance to the face. It's supposed to set and keep your makeup in place without looking heavy. That sounds interesting to me. I was like, a little bit of radiance, not like full-on highlight powder, but something a little glowy. That sounds really intriguing to me. The other powder that's new that kind of has me going, is the Always an Optimist Soft Radiance Setting Powder. This is from Rare Beauty. And it's a talc-free loose setting powder that's supposed to control your shine, blur the look of pores, smooth things out, and give you a soft, natural finish. So it's not radiant, but it's not going to be matte. I'm past the point where I look good with a completely matte, like, I like to not look shiny, but there's a difference between not looking shiny and looking smooth and matte like a porcelain doll. That really only accentuates like all of these little lines that I have in here and in here, and it really makes my forehead lines look heavy. So this idea of a natural looking powder, I'm definitely interested in that. This next powder is interesting. It's a pressed powder. It has a natural matte finish, and I was like, really? But then I saw a couple people use it and I saw them like, be like head over heels for it. And so when Jessica Braun and Emily Noel were like, this is really good stuff, I was like, This is the LYS Triple Fix Setting Powder. This comes in 6 shades, and it's supposed to be a product that blurs the skin while helping to absorb excess oils, but having a natural matte finish. And when I saw Emily and Jessica like put it underneath their eyes, like this area here, the hardest part for me is that if I have a beautiful powder that works everywhere but under my eyes, and I start pressing it in under my eyes, it instantly adds like 100 years. And instead of 47, I'll look 147. So I have to have the right powder. But when I saw Emily and Jessica put it underneath their eyes and they were like, wow. Now I know they're both still in their 30s. I know Jessica is probably solidly a decade and change younger than me. Emily's probably almost a decade younger than me. But you know what? I don't know, it looks interesting to me. And I know this product from LYS has been out for a while. I think it came out just before last year's spring Sephora sale. I'm really curious about this one. If you have a preference as to which powder, I'm not dedicated to buying a powder, but if one of these is interesting or you're curious about what it looks like on, you know, mature skin, 45 plus skin, let me know. I've also been really curious about some concealers. Everyone who has told me about the Kosas concealer has said, hey, you gotta try it, it's really good. This is the Kosas Revealer Super Creamy Brightening Concealer, which sounds really good because I tend to really love radiant concealers the older I get. I used to find them to be a little too radiant for my under eyes, but now I'm loving a radiant concealer. So this whole creamy, brightening, yes, sign me up. And what's interesting here is that it's medium coverage. Even though I have dark circles, I definitely like having medium coverage, and I'll lean a little bit more on my corrector to try and take care of some of that, or do a little visual, like, don't look at these. These are not the dark circles you're looking for. And let my concealer be a little bit more lightweight. I do have some heavy duty full coverage concealers, but I really tend to like a medium coverage. This one sounds really interesting. The feedback I have heard is that Kosas base products tend to lean a little on the warm/yellow side. So I don't know, but if I'm gonna end up picking up a foundation that's not exactly, I'm neutral, I think I look better in a yellow/warm toned foundation or concealer than I do in one that's pink tone. Pink tone, I just look like death on a cracker. Another one I am curious about is the Shazado Synchro Skin Concealer. This is their self-refreshing concealer. I fell in love with their Synchro Skin Radiant Lifting Foundation. I got it in February, I wore it all through February, all through March. Love, 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 love. And I was like, if it's really that good and it doesn't settle into any of my, you know, expression lines, it wears well all day, even when I don't set it completely, what will the concealer do? I am so curious about this. So I have this in there. My only concern getting this Shazado concealer is that I struggled finding a shade match in the foundation. I started with the third lightest shade because that's what they shade matched me for on Sephora and Shazado's website, and it was too dark. I went in store, I tried the next lightest shade and it was too pink and it looked like death on a cracker, and the lightest shade is too light. So I'm still kind of concocting and mixing, but I love the foundation formula. I'm really curious about this concealer. If you've tried it, please let me know your feedback down below. Dior has a new concealer. It's their Backstage concealer. What's interesting about this one is that it's another radiant concealer. I love that. It has caffeine in it. It's supposed to be waterproof and crease proof. Now, when you're talking to someone who's 47 and has like wrinkles under here, and if I don't set it just right, product settles in those lines. And if I set it too much, I look like I've got like a desert underneath my eyes. This whole idea of crease proof, it's like, really? And then instead of coming with a doe foot applicator, it has a brush applicator. This is kind of interesting to me. I don't know what shade I would be, but I'm kind of curious about it. It's $29, and I think that's a really good price for a luxury concealer. Aren't most of them like in the $35+ range? I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are. I know it's pretty new on the market, but people have raved about all of the Dior Backstage stuff, the foundation, the powder. I love the powder, like the rest of the products in the Backstage line. I would love to know if you're curious about this concealer as well. So when I was eyeing that LYS Triple Fix powder, I also got a good gander at their Triple Fix Brightening Concealer. So magic words. Brightening, yes. It's an ultra creamy concealer that brightens, conceals, and nourishes the skin. It has a skin-like finish. Like, yes to all of that. It's full coverage, so I always worry just a little bit, but my favorite one is the Estee Lauder, and this is full coverage. It's their Double Wear Radiant Concealer. Love that so much. I think it's a really great formula, so I do okay with full coverage. It just has to be the right formulation, because if it's full coverage and dry and shape tapey, But this one here talks about being ultra creamy. Maybe it's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm telling you, there's a ton of concealers, and I need another concealer like I need another hole in my head. But I do have my eye on the Rose Inc Soft Light Clean Dewy Hydrating Concealer. And I think maybe the reason I have been like kind of thinking about this and thinking about this and thinking about it is because Hannah Louise posts and talks about it all the time. Her favorite product ever because it's high coverage and she uses it as foundation all over. And I do that frequently. I don't use it like put it everywhere, but I'll put it in certain areas. And then as I'm blending it out, I can blend it into other places lightly until we go from high coverage to no coverage and I get the coverage that I want. And she does that and I was like, oh, I love concealers that do that. So this one is supposed to be creamy, buildable. It's supposed to brighten, blur, and contour. It has squalane and vitamin E, so it's gonna be nourishing. It's going to be good for under eyes that can be a little dry. Have you tried the one from Rose Inc? Do you have any thoughts? I've been loving really kind of juicy, glossy lip products, and the With Gratitude Dewy Lip Balm from Rare Beauty looks beautiful. It's supposed to be a hydrating kind of gloss in a stick form, maybe more like balm in a stick form. It has light to medium coverage, dewy finish. Yes, yes, yes. Compliment is the shade that I have my eye on. It's a muted berry shade. I have a ton of reds. I have a ton of like nudes. I don't really need any more nudes or reds, but I do love a berry lip shade, especially if it looks more like a sheer wash. Love that. This one I have my eye on. I like that it's only $16. This is one of those products that's out of stock, but I'm curious about. It's from Rose Inc. It's their Satin Lip Color Hydrating Lipstick Set. I bought a Rose Inc. set earlier this year. I would really be interested in trying a, slightly creamier satin formula. But what I like about this is that you get 3 different shades and the packaging is refillable. So you get 2 refills and 1 lipstick that comes in the packaging, so you can swap them out and just use the same applicator, which to me is great. But I also really liked the colors. I think the colors are super pretty. There's kind of like a peachy nude shade. There's kind of more like a rosewood shade, and then definitely a deeper berry that's not really red, not really, I don't know, it's somewhere kind of like in a bricky berry shade. And I like it. I am super curious about this. It's not in stock now. I don't know if it's gonna be back in stock, but I'm gonna leave it in my loves list because normally it's $64 and here it's $42. I've never tried anything from Makeup by Mario, but their Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Serum looks so good. Another one of those kind of hydrating balm or lip gloss in a tube formula. This looks absolutely stunning. It's a melting glossy balm. Ding, ding, ding. And it gives you a dew-like shine. It's supposed to be hydrating. I like all of that. It looks like it's going to be a little on the sheer side, a little bit on the glowy side. That's really what I've been reaching for, like hydrated, glowy, not too heavy. Love that. So this one is interesting to me. I have my eye on a couple of the Gucci sheer lipsticks. They're the ones that come in the kind of beige with the rose print on the tube. Really beautiful packaging, but the idea is exciting to me. These aren't new, they've been out for a while, but it's a sheer formula that's supposed to be luminous, lightweight, and hydrating. Yes, yes. So it's very much in line with like what I'm wearing now, lightweight, sheer, hydrating, and all of the other lip products that are really calling to me. I have my eye on a sheer red and kind of like a rosewood shade that's called Love is Better. Those are interesting to me. I do have a couple of the Gucci satin lipsticks in my loves list. And the formulation here is different. It's creamy, it's intense color. It's supposed to be long lasting, soft, and lightweight. The idea of it being lightweight and comfortable, that is definitely something I'm looking for in a lip product. But I feel like I'm ready to leave some of the matte lip products I've been wearing up until now, maybe in like winter. Spring is here, looking for glossy, and this idea of more pigment but not necessarily matte, that is really exciting to me. So I have, of course, red. I have the shade Goldie Red, which is the Gucci Red Satin lipstick, and then I have a nude as well. I don't know that I'm going to pick up any Gucci lipsticks because they're $42 each, but they're really interesting to me. And the one that I already have in a different formulation, I actually really like a lot. I do have some matte lipsticks. Let's not say that like I'm fully over matte lipsticks, because there are some formulations that really have my interest. One of them is the Major Beauty Headlines Matte Suede Lipstick from Patrick Ta. There are 5 shades, but his orange red shade, she's not from here. That screams summer to me. I love a bright, bold, punchy lip, like all year long, but give it to me in summer with like a really minimal eye and a lot of mascara. Yes, I am here for it. So I love this. And I also have in my loves list the accompanying Precision Lip Crayon from Patrick Ta in that same kind of orangey red. I've been curious about those formulas since they launched, I think more than a year ago. I just haven't jumped on it because if you were to see all the lipsticks just kind of cluttered around me here, they're not cluttered, they're very neatly organized, but still, I have more than 200 lip products. I don't need another one, but it's literally my favorite thing. I love it. And I have had my eye on this formula for a long time, and it's got a lot of really great reviews. So I want to try a formulation that I don't have in my collection that I know other people are already raving about. That's super interesting to me. I also have the new matte lipstick from Gwen Stefani's Give line. It's the Original Me Clean High Performance Matte Lipstick. There's 1 shade and it's original recipe. It's a true red. So this formula comes in a liquid lipstick that comes like in a tube with a doe foot. It comes in a satin formulation, and then it comes in this matte. And I was like, do I want the satin? Do I want the matte? I think I might be more interested in the matte. I feel like the price is pretty good, $26. I don't have anything at all from this line, but I do have some things kind of in my loves list. This red lipstick, red is my favorite color, and I feel like if anyone's gonna do a red lipstick right, it's gonna be Gwen. She's been wearing a red lipstick for decades. I've always loved her very crisp, perfect red lip. Love, love, love. Speaking of Gwen, I am interested in picking up one of her eyeshadow palettes, her I See in Color. It's a multi-dimensional quad eyeshadow, and the color that I'm interested in is Just a Girl. It kind of is a little bit more rosy neutral, and it looks like it'd be the sorts of colors that I would enjoy the most. There's a really nice cool tone. There's like a really neutral that's all matte. This one I think has a shimmer, a couple of shimmers in it, and it's a really pretty, it looks like a very usable everyday quad, and I tend to like something like this where I have, you know, a little bit of matte, a little bit of depth, and some sparkle. And some of the other ones that are like complete matte, I can see why she would put that in her collection, but that's not calling my name. So the quad in Just a Girl, that one really is intriguing to me. The other product from the Gwen Stefani line that I kind of have my eye on is her brow pencil. It's their Hella On Point brow pencil. I don't need a new brow pencil, but it looks intriguing to me. But I've gone through and I've looked at like her full collection, and the things that are really calling to me, lipstick and the eyeshadow, those are the two that are the most interesting to me. And then after that, the brow pencil. I'm in love with cream cheek products. Love. And a Kosas product that I've had my eye on for a long time is the Color and Light Cream Blush and Highlight Duo. This is one where both sides are cream, and the one that I'm interested in is 8th Muse High Intensity. They have a regular 8th Muse, and then they have one that where I think the highlight's kicked up just a little bit. Maybe even the blush is a slightly more intense, and I'm loving like a really blushy cheek. Love that. I think that's one of the trends for this spring and summer is like, you know, less everything and more just boom, blush. And growing up in the 80s, that really calls to me. So I've been wanting to try this cream duo from Kosas for a long time. I might pick this up. I have a huge love affair with blush. Always have. I think I always will, because I was raised in the 80s. I remember that really bold 80s blush look, like really high and draped and really punchy and bold. I've always loved a super blushy cheek, and so I have been trying to find products that are going to give me that same, maybe not quite so 80s, because that's definitely a look. And I've been loving liquid and cream products. I feel like as I get older, those are the ones that give me that look without really looking powdery and dry on the surface of my skin. And I've heard really good things about the one from Rare Beauty. It's the Soft Pinch Liquid Blush. So curious about this. I think the color Encourage would be the one that I'm most curious about, but I think even the color Hope, which is currently not in stock as I'm recording this video, but Maybe they'll get it back before the sale starts. I feel like I've been having the best success with blush when it's cream. Like today I'm wearing a cream blush and I feel like it looks beautiful, it looks natural, it becomes one with my skin, and that's what I'm looking for. I've heard really good things about this. That is definitely on my list. Also have my eyeball on the Vanessa Myricks Dewy Cheek and Lip Palette. Now there are two. I love the more contoury, darker shades, but I feel like I would get the most use out of the Color Dew in Do It Flirty. It has more of the reds and the corals in it. That seems like I could get more use out of it. And I like the idea of being able to, you know, a little color from here, a little color from there, mix it up and use it on my lips, or create my own cheek color with varying levels of intensity, more red, more coral, a little softer, a little bolder. That one sounds really good, and I've heard good reviews about this product in general. I want to get another one of the Patrick Ta duos. I have this one. This is their Double Take Cream and Powder Blush. I really like this. This one is in the shade She's That Girl, and it's kind of like a peachy pink. This is more pink, this is more peach. But what's really nice about this is that you can use them individually. You can mix them together, put the cream down first and then the powder on top, or vice versa. Patrick Ta is really good about showing you how to mix, you know, cream on top of powder, but the shade that I have my eye on is a little bit more nude, a little bit more dialed down, maybe not quite as vibrant. It's called She's Blushing. I don't know that I need another one of these, but I have his bronzer duo that's powder and cream, and I really like this one. If I'm just putting things on my loves list, that's one of the things that's kind of exciting me right now. Also have my eye on the bronzer stick from Rare Beauty. It's the Warm Wishes Effortless Bronzer. Right now, nothing really seems to be kicking my M Cosmetics So Soft Multi-Play stick out of, like, that's like top ranking right now. I am currently using, today I'm using the Vanessa Myricks Power Bronzer. And this is a cream bronzer. I like this, but I feel like the stick formula is a little bit easier for me from M. And I don't know, I've heard good things about the one from Makeup by Mario. I've heard good things about the one from Anastasia Beverly Hills, but I've heard really good things recently about the one from Rare Beauty. If you have a favorite or you've tried multiples and you have a suggestion, let me know in the comments down below. I've been loving a really glittery eye. Now, I know Euphoria makeup is all the rage, and you're never, well, I shouldn't say never, but you're not likely to find me with, like, you know, rhinestone crystals going this way for a graphic liner look, or pearls along the lash line. That's not the sort of makeup wearer that I am, but I do have a huge love affair with sparkly on the lid. So I have been keeping my eye out for the Vanessa Myricks Infinite Chrome Flakes. And these are a formula where once it sets, it doesn't budge. There's no fallout. All of that sounds amazing to me. It's a formula that is a water-based gel, but it has a multi-chrome look to it, so that when the light hits it and you shift your face, the colors shift on your eyes. I love a multi-chrome. I've been enjoying her Twin Flames. I think I have the shade Lust. That has been a lot of fun for me, but it's more kind of like a sheer base with a multi-chrome working through it. So it looks like if the light's hitting it the right way, like there's hardly anything there. And then I turn one way, it could be gold or it could be orange. It's really fun. But the ones that I'm interested in here are more like a purple or a pink. And there's a clear one that is kind of out of stock right now, and I don't know if it's gonna come back, but it has like iridescent rainbow shades in there with kind of a clear base. That looks super intriguing to me, but I'm most likely gonna pick up one of these Infinite Chrome Flakes from Vanessa Myricks, just because they just look so pretty. I have a couple of larger eyeshadow palettes in my loves list right now. I don't know if I'm going to pick up either one of these. One of them is currently not in stock, and it's the Glam Palette from Natasha Denona. I have been really intrigued by cool tone shadows. I loved this when it first came out, but I was like, I don't need a palette that big, and I've been trying to keep my eyeshadow purchases to things I think I would realistically wear. And my worry was when it first came out, when was it, early fall of 2020? And it's been like a year and a half since it came out, and I just never purchased it. It's like, no, I don't need it. No, I don't need it. I almost got it during the Sephora sale this fall, and I was like, no. But the fact that I'm still intrigued by it and I'm still loving it, a lot of times I'll fall in love with the palette, but if I don't instantly buy it, it kind of out of sight, out of mind. And as I'm scrolling through Sephora the next time, it never really intrigues me. This one still does. It's been a year and a half, and part of me is like, maybe. So that one's on my list. It's out of stock right now. If it comes back before the sale, I might pick it up. The other one that I have in my list here, and I've heard so many good things about, and it has a kind of a, it's not an identical color palette, but it's definitely cooler, is the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz eyeshadow palette. I've heard beautiful things. The finishes look amazing. There's a wide variety of finishes. And the thing for me is I've never tried any of the Huda Beauty eyeshadows, so I don't know what I'm getting into. And I feel like sometimes these larger palettes have excellent reviews, the Mercury Retrograde, the Naughty Nudes, the New Nudes. Like, there's been a lot of them that have been really, really well reviewed. And then there have been some of like the smaller Obsessions palettes, the 9-pan palettes. People are like, this one's not good. Like the neon ones didn't get good reviews. There were some of the other ones that were kind of mixed reviews. So I don't know, but I've heard nothing but good about this Rose Quartz. That one's on my list as well. Let me know what's on your list for the Sephora sale. What are you interested in? Or if you're just like passing all together, hooray, but tell me how you're staying so strong. I would love to know. If any of the beauty products I've mentioned today are intriguing to you and you'd like to see a review, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have an incredible day, and I will see you again soon. Bye.